Coop here. First down.
First down, Coop, and here we go. We're changing gears completely. Jeremy Pruitt, did he get a raw deal? Your thoughts, first down. Should the show cause end? Now, in case you haven't heard, the NCAA, according to sources, has agreed to back pay all of this cash. Explain more about it, but I'm wondering if Jeremy Pruitt's sitting somewhere saying, what happened to me, Caleb?
Yeah, the NCAA has agreed to, and we're going to talk about this later on the show. They have agreed to a settlement in a lawsuit on NIL basically violating players' rights by not allowing them to cash in on their own name, image, and likeness. They're going to pay $2.7 billion out to former athletes who could have made NIL money. How that gets dispersed, I don't know. We don't know the details. We'll talk about that later. And then also schools are going to be allowed to directly pay $20 million to their athletes going forward. That's the rumors of the early part of the settlement. Jeremy Pruitt got a 6-year show cause from the NCAA for directly paying players, and I doubt it was $20 million. And
sorry, buddy. Those are the rules. He deserves it. Slam him. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I think
rules.
No, but that's so unfair. Okay, for instance, like in our nation right now, a lot of people are in prison because they smoked weed. Weed is now legal in a lot of these places. I think those people's conviction should be overturned. I know it was illegal when they did it, but I'm thinking like, okay, it never should have been a rule in the first place. They should be let out of prison. Now, I'm sorry, in this situation, I think you could.
They broke the law, Caleb.
Yeah, but you can negotiate in certain instances of saying, okay, you broke a law, but it was a bad law. So even though you broke it and you knew it, we'll still have a punishment, but we won't have it as severe. So maybe make the deal of, rather than 6 years, maybe make it 2 or 3.
Well, it should have never been as long as it was. 6. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous anyway. Like they got Donnie Tyndall with the 10. But let's be honest, that's the University of Tennessee throwing some of their guys that they don't want around anymore that have caused trouble. They want them out of there. And Tennessee turns their back on them quickly. We talk about how they self-report. Yes, they self-report, but by self-reporting, they're self-reporting on the guys that are in trouble. So Tennessee essentially turns their back on these guys, but they've cheated, so it's okay, and I don't blame them.
Cooper Mays here. Second down.
All right, 4 downs brought to you by Dynasty Pools and Spas. Second down is this, and it has to do with Jeremy Pruitt. Does he deserve more credit for the talent that he brought in? I'll go ahead and tell you, I think this is a resounding yes.
That's hot.
But he had to pay to get it. So Peyton says,
they're like, that is total bullshit.
He paid to get it. Maybe evaluated. He paid to get it. He doesn't deserve more credit.
Wait, no. Everybody he paid to get transferred out of the program before Josh Heupel took over. Everybody that Jeremy Pruitt paid transferred out of the program, and Tennessee nudged them out and forced them out before Josh Heupel took over. And Jeremy Pruitt and Josh Heupel was still left with a collection of really talented players. The most notable of whom was Hendon Hooker. Okay? Hendon Hooker started, Josh Heupel wanted to start Joe Milton over Hendon Hooker, but Josh Heupel, say what you want, Hendon Hooker fell out of the sky into his lap. That doesn't mean he didn't do a good job with Hooker. Hooker didn't do this at Virginia Tech, what he did at Tennessee. Cedric Tillman. Jeremy Pruitt found Cedric Tillman out of Las Vegas as a 2-star. Nobody was looking at him. Jeremy Pruitt went to Vegas to get him. Okay? That was a big steal of a pickup and a receiver that he got. Jalen Wright. Jeremy Pruitt saw his speed before anybody else did. Yes, the Eric Grays and the Wanye Morrises and the Henry Totos, I'm sure all of these guys were paid, but all these guys, like the key players left the program. Okay, so we're talking about a lot of guys that Jeremy Pruitt got. Javonte Spraggins, the best interior run blocker in the SEC. Jeremy Pruitt found him out of Illinois. Nowhere. Nobody knew anything about this kid, and Jeremy Pruitt went and got him. Dave, the guy you say is possibly generational, Elijah Simmons, he was only a 3-star, and Jeremy Pruitt found him out of I think it was Pearl Cone in Nashville. Okay, there is a lot of talent Jeremy Pruitt identified. By the way, he paid the major guys that all the schools were going for, but he also found a lot of undervalued guys at Tennessee that went to Tennessee that Josh Heupel, yes, did the good job coaching up, but I'm just going to say it, and y'all can call me crazy. Jeremy Pruitt is the best talent evaluator. He's the best talent evaluator Tennessee's ever had in recruiting.
No, go ahead. Say it one more time, Caleb.
He is the best talent evaluator Tennessee's ever had in recruiting. There's not a close second.
Well, that's Are we
I would
counting
make-
assistants or head coaches?
Head coaches.
Okay. Well, I could name 6 assistants, but I'll give you.
I
head
would
coach.
make Jeremy Pruitt my general manager tomorrow if I were an NFL coach.
Golly, I probably would too. But the next question is not that.
All SEC center Cooper Mays.
Oh,
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here. Third down.
would you hire him as a defensive coordinator? I'm going to answer first. Hell no, because I think that I think that yes, he's a good talent evaluator and probably a good motivator. But I believe that was Nick Saban's defense. So I wouldn't hire him for that reason, not because. But I would hire him as an NFL GM. I think that's pretty astute.
Oh, yeah, I think I would have hired him as a defensive coordinator when he was hired. I think schematically he's way behind the curve now, and he got exposed when he was at Tennessee towards the end. Because here's the thing that Pruitt believes. I remember Pruitt saying this. He said that he basically said his defensive backs don't need to be covering the quick slants. He says it's the job of the defensive tackles to cloud the quarterback's vision to stop the quick slants from happening. Dave, in this era of quick releases in college football, you need your linebackers and defensive backs to be able to cover the flats and the zone area and this over the middle, right? You can't rely on the defensive tackles to shield their vision.
And he's thinking of the defensive tackles that Alabama had that created such a push almost by accident. I mean, those guys were so talented over the years that, I mean, my goodness. I mean,
like if you have John Henderson, okay, you don't need to cover the middle of the field. You know, John Henderson's going to cover it for you up front, but like you can't rely on above average defensive tackles to do that.
No. Coop, what now?
All SEC center Cooper Mays here. Fourth down.
I appreciate that, Coop. Fourth down is make a prediction as to where Jeremy Pruitt ends up and when. 4 downs brought to you by Dynasty Pools and Spas. All you have to do is stop by their showroom in Athens. They'll deliver to you. Mention Off the Hook Sports, get $500 off. Off the Hook Sports, get $500 off any spa. And also, if you just stop by and say hello, take a look at the showroom, pick up a free Celebrate 98 book or an Off the Hook Sports t-shirt. 1 minute, and then we'll predict where Jeremy Pruitt actually ends up. You know, the best thing about Dynasty Pools and Spas is that they've got it all taken care of. What does that mean? Well, you stop by their showroom and check out their fantastic selection of top-notch spas in that showroom in Athens. Make your pick and get ready because Dynasty Pools and Spas delivers within 125 miles of that location in Athens, that fantastic showroom. They've got the cover lift, steps, chemicals, and everything you need. Delivery at no extra charge. They're just down the road in Athens. You pick the spa you want, and it'll be there for you. Oftentimes discounted with military and first responders discounts, also blemish models, or just mention Off the Hook Sports. That's Off the Hook Sports for $500 off. There's a discount for you on spas made right here in East Tennessee. Support local. Dynasty Pools and Spas also has the best chemicals for you and your spa and your pool. No fillers, just the chemicals made right here in East Tennessee. Support local. Dynasty Pools and Spas, $500 off if you mention Off the Hook Sports. $500 off if you mention Off the Hook Sports. Dynasty Pools and Spas, dynastypoolsandspas.com.
All SEC center Cooper Mays here. Fourth down.
What becomes of Jeremy Pruitt 5 years from now? Where is he?
Oh, Dave, you're going to love what I'm about to tell you.
I'm ready. It's replacing Kalen DeBoer at Alabama, perhaps?
No. Jeremy Pruitt is headed to Florida. Lane Kiffin is going to get the head coaching job at Florida in a year. And he's going to bide his time. And the second he gets the chance, he's going to name Jeremy Pruitt his defensive coordinator because he's going to want Jeremy Pruitt to help him identify talent in Florida.
Damn, that's good. Okay, I like that one. I can't do any better than that. That makes a lot of sense for a lot of different reasons. But you and I are assuming when will the show calls will be over next year, won't it? Or the year after?
No, he still got. I mean, the show calls began from when he was fired, so we're talking. He can't get back.
You can get time served, so to speak.
He still can't get back in until 2027.
Then I'm going to disagree with you slightly, even though it's a great idea, because I don't think you could just kind of have him in purgatory. Because he can't be. They're going to put restrictions on him.
Here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. Lane Kiffin is going to he's going to be in Gainesville, and he's going to give IMG Academy a call. He's going to give some school in Orlando a call and be like, hey, you guys hire this Jeremy Pruitt just for a couple years as a head coach real quick, just to, help identify some Florida talent. And Lincoln is going to use this way.
Oh,
I'm telling you. And here's another possibility. I'll give you another one.
Dylan says, I'm going to vomit. And I agree, because the two guys with very questionable backgrounds are going to go to Florida and win a national championship. Those two guys together could probably win a national championship.
I mean, they almost did 2016 when they were at Alabama, offensive and defensive coordinators at Alabama together in 2016. They given to Jeremy Pruitt, so they know each other well. Here's another possibility. Jeremy Pruitt and Brian Daboll did win a national championship together in 2017 when Pruitt was Alabama's defensive coordinator and Daboll was Alabama's offensive coordinator. Brian Daboll is now the head coach at the Giants. Now, Joe Judge did hire Jeremy Pruitt as a scout for a year when he was coach of the Giants, and then Joe Judge was fired, Jeremy Pruitt was let go, and all of that. I think Daboll may bring Pruitt back on as a scout. And Dave, I'm going to be honest, if he does, I think Jeremy Pruitt could rise through the ranks to an NFL GM. Now, there's only one flaw in Pruitt being an NFL GM.
Wait a second. I'm just going to tell you, and I don't want this to sound mean, for my dealings with him, there's a lot of things as an NFL GM. There's a lot of people you have to deal with. I don't know that he's a people person that would be great in that role. Maybe like the guy under the GM that does all the talent evaluation. I don't think he's
general manager or assistant.
Yeah, I just don't think he's GM worthy from being around him. I hate to sound like a jack.
Well, I'm going to say I agree with you on that. And the biggest reason, maybe he'll be an assistant GM and that's his peak role, because the other part of being an NFL GM, you have to do math because you have to understand how to do contracts. Like, that's kind of a big deal, right? You got to understand math. And Jeremy Pruitt, does he strike you as a guy who knows math at all?
No. Yeah. He definitely does not. Oh, we're about to hit a new record for midday weekday viewers at one time. So go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. We'd love to do that. If you're new to the program, stop, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're a part of it, because we're the show that has Jimmy Himes, John Adams. We have Spencer Riley. We have Fred White. More and more and more coming, as we're excited to announce some pretty big news coming up here before too long. So we want you to be sure and subscribe and be a part of the program. On the flip side, General Nealon says Kiffin loses 4 this year and is forced to remain in Oxford. I wonder if that's worse. I wonder if Lane Kiffin would rather just lose 6 and get fired as opposed to just hang around Oxford. Because this just in, he doesn't like Oxford, but you didn't hear that from me.